In the UK in 2022, you're twice as likely to hit a deer than in 1997. That risk has gone up fourfold since 1980. The government-funded Deer Initiative estimates there could be up to 74,000 road accidents involving deer each year. Deer vehicle collisions injure hundreds of people and cause more than £16 million worth of insurance payouts. Dr. Jochen Langbine, who has studied accidents involving deer for more than 20 years, estimates that the cost of the collisions to the economy is up to £50 million annually.
The great majority of deer road casualties or deer accidents are not recorded at all. The only time an accident has to be recorded by law is with the deer is when there's a human injury accident, and even then the fact that a deer was involved rather than any other animal still doesn't actually appear in official national statistics.
The government says the UK deer population is at an all-time high, yet the Highways Agency pulled funding from the only national campaign to raise awareness of deer vehicle collisions. This means the government has stopped funding all research into deer accidents, including the Drive Deer Aware campaign.
I'm very grateful that they did carry on funding it for 20 years of data collection when initially I'd only hoped for 2 or 3 years. So it's very good that they did carry on funding, but the actual reasons that they had to stop this year, I don't know. It's obviously a lot of tight budgets. I think we're back to the highest level that we've had, and it's likely to carry on increasing again from now on, unless there's another big economic downturn or a big change in deer management strategy. I think we're still going to have tens of thousands, sort of in excess of 75,000 a year. And it's obviously our deer populations aren't increasing everywhere, but they are still continuing to spread, especially throughout the lowland Scotland and in the east of England, and those muntjac populations are getting bigger and bigger, and they're starting to make up a very high percentage of the total number of deer collisions.
Mike Dickinson is a deer stalker with more than 35 years' experience. As well as stalking wild deer, he farms deer at Colton Moor in Staffordshire. Police call on him to dispatch deer injured on roads nearby.
The police come and get you to do it, so you want to know who's going to insure you. Can you have the instruction to take over if need be? Will the police be in attendance, which they're not always? Will the police not prosecute you for firing a firearm in the road? If the deer gets over the fence into the field at the side, the police then can't give you authority to do it. It belongs to the landowner. It's just, a nightmare of a scenario to get into.
The now defunct Drive Deer Aware campaign advised drivers to be cautious between sunset and midnight. It also warns if you see a deer, there may be others.
Once that lead animal goes, all the others rush across, and that's often the case anyway, is that if one deer, the first one isn't hit, it's the next one you need to, and you've seen it, it's the next one you need to watch out for. And that's what people often think, oh good, it's gone, and then they hit the next one.
Biggest problem usually is the car will come along, because we only have red deer around here, so red are fairly tall. The car will hit the deer, smash its legs, the deer will roll over the bonnet, smash the windscreen and roll inside the car with you. It's only got broken legs, but it's going to be struggling like mad. You're strapped in the car, and that's where the fatalities come from.
Each local authority in Britain is responsible for its own prevention measures. Cannock Chase in Staffordshire is a hotspot for deer accidents. Dr. Langbine has worked with the County Council to reduce accidents involving deer.
It's been very good. I've sort of worked a bit with Cannock Chase, but they've been very active, especially one of their rangers, Roger Taylor. It's been in trying different deterrents at the roadsides, and we've tried different deterrents which emit sound signals as well as light signals, which importantly are not just the red reflective mirrors, because mammals can't see red anyway, so it never was a good idea. But they're trying these with strobe lights, with blue and yellow and so on. But unfortunately, it's being trialled in an area that's dominated by fallow deer, which are obviously a herding species. And I think they'd actually be most likely to be effective with more solitary species like roe deer and muntjac.
Mike believes the government needs to take action to tackle the rising problem.
I think if you hit a deer on the road, the accident needs to be logged so you get an incident number off the police. Therefore, they've got some official statistics on how many are being hit. Then that way the insurance will cover it better because it's a officially logged incident, the same way as you would if you'd hit a cow or a dog on the road, just so they can gather some more proper data. There'll be more interaction between people and deer. If there's more deer on the road, there's way too many cars on the road anyway, so they're bound to come into conflict with each other. A deer will write a car off without thinking about it and then, like I say, just run off. They're solid things.
We've got regional maps for every single county in the country where we've got identify the hotspots, and the information's there. The trouble is the county councils haven't got a lot of funding at the moment to do anything, but at least I'd hope we get this information out to each council so they are more aware where the hotspots are and actually take some action. I mean, what action they can take is another matter, because deer road warning signs, the wildlife warning sign, obviously people tend to ignore in a very short time. And the only things that really work, I mean, we can go through a list of the different things that work, but they tend to be different for different types of roads, and they tend to not come very cheaply.
For more information on the issue, see the Langbine Wildlife Channel on YouTube.